Welcome to the Inspired Riding Podcast. I'm your host, Beth Lauren Parrish. As a certified riding instructor, remote coach, and rapid transformational therapy practitioner, a powerful form of hypnotherapy, I'm here to remind you to slow down, trust your intuition, and really deeply listen to your horse. And this will make for the best co-creative dances possible, whether you're on the ground or connecting on their backs. Thank you so much for being here, and here we go. Welcome, everyone. We are back at it with the Animal Wisdom Series. We have Jana Wagner here, of course, and today we're talking to her wonderful quarter horse gelding, Chip. How are you today, Jana?
How about you?
Really good. I'm excited to hear what he has to say today.
I am excited too because he and I have been working what he calls behind the scenes. So it's kind of in the dream state where I'm not always able to pull all the information through with dreams because, if you can wake up naturally, they say, and then write down your dreams right away, you can remember them better. Fortunately, I'm going to change that. Fortunately, I have this wonderful puppy that wakes me up. And so very often being schmoozed by him and forget the dream. So
that was a nice reframe. Yes.
I have been needing to practice my reframing quite a bit lately. So there you go. Chip is 25 this year. He was born in 2000. Oh no, he's turning 26. Oh my gosh. No.
That's exciting. 26 is a good year.
So, I say that because we met when he was 15, so we're going on our 11th year together. And from my perspective, he is just incredible. He holds a PhD in Western horse everything. There are things, this horse is so educated, there are things he knows that I have never been taught. I've ridden my whole life. And every time I sit on his back, he shows me something else that I never knew before. He knows how to rope. He's Western pleasure bred if you're into quarter horses. But he knows how to rope. He knows how to do all the trail stuff. I literally just sit up there and he does it. When it comes to trail. He is a horse, though, that when we were showing a lot, if I didn't bring my A game, he wasn't going to bail me out. So it was a really interesting partnership when we were showing because he always made me step up to his standard and he held me to it. So interesting that I said something similar about Kenny. They hold me to a standard. And Chip is one of these horses that he just catches your attention. There's something about him. He just grabs you and you can't miss him. He was the first time in my life I experienced love at first sight because I walked in the barn that first time I saw him and I just stopped and stared. And I said, "Who is that?" "Oh, that's Chip. We just picked him up for so-and-so." And I went nuts. Anyhow, that was January. And by the time April rolled around, he was mine. And we've been together ever since. So like I said, he is a 2000 quarter horse and he's pleasure bred. And of course, his name comes from his long line of Chip family of Western pleasure horses. So he said, "I'm waiting for my turn," and he's tapping his foot. So I better stop talking and ask him what he wants to share because I could go on and on about him. He means so much to me. And I still can't believe he's mine. He's just incredible. Okay, I'm gonna get quiet a moment and see where he wants to start. Okay, so he's so funny. Um, Chip's also quite a clown, so he has taught me to take life less seriously. He loves to do his tricks, and if, especially if I'm having a day, he'll just like grin in my face because I taught him to smile, but he'll spontaneously do it to lighten me up, but also to get a snack. So he said, let's be honest about why I do it. One is to cheer you up, and one is for my snacks. But he said, greeting fellow pasture dwellers. And he said pasture dwellers are what he wants to call the retirees because technically he is retired now, even though sometimes we still go for bareback rides and rope the reindeer. I have a toy reindeer Sven that I picked up off of someone's yard sale. And so instead of a roping cow head, we have a reindeer, which is great. He would like to start reframing the idea of retired equaling out to pasture, done, complete, nothing left to contribute, useless, forgotten. He would like retiree to no longer reflect those ideas. With humans, something that is an idea or concept that's been talked about a lot is about how we have 7-year cycles, and every 7 years we have a whole new set of cells, and technically we're a whole other being, if you will. We regenerate that frequently. So he was sharing with me about you could liken a mid-20 something horse to this 75-ish range of humans. And what is often talked about is when humans reach around that age, they go into their golden years. And the implication is golden years offer a level of exploration that we may not have either been aware of or made time for in our younger years. So now I understand. When he shows up in my meditation time or my dream time, he shows up as a orange gold orb, and this iridescent orange gold. And I can tell that it's him because I can see like the faint physical outline of him within this orb. And he hadn't shared with me yet why he shows up that way, except that's how he sees himself. And now he would like to elaborate on it. In that, this is him literally displaying him going into his golden years. And he says, because Jana listened when I said no more, or I wish to ride on my terms, I wish to carry you on my terms and on days when I feel good, because when I don't feel good, I can't trust myself to keep Jana safe. That is why I offer on days when I feel good. However, he is going into his golden years, and he said, thank you for listening to me when I needed to make this change. I am not entirely sure where our work is going together yet either, because the golden years are new to me and obviously new to Jana because she's not that old yet. He's so sweet. And he said that the important part is that I love him so much. I don't even know if I can express to all of you how much I love him. He said, because I hold the space for him to explore. He said she doesn't even do it consciously most of the time. She just says, okay, and goes along with it and watches. And he said, when you have someone to listen and witness your journey, a lot more comes true. He said, I never told her how much I was hurting before we retired. I just kept trying. I kept trying. I kept pushing myself, and I never told her how hard it was until she said, okay, that's enough. We're not doing any more. He said it was just as hard for me to give up competition as it was for Jana. And we decided together to discontinue competing. He says he honestly loved it. He loved every minute. He loved trying all the different things that were asked of him, even the things he hadn't done before. Even that time we went to a hunter derby and he had no idea what we were doing, but he did it anyway. And he did it all with his ears up and a smile on his face. And I remember that day feeling a little down on myself because I had made a big rider error. And he just smiled at me and reminded me it didn't matter. What mattered was the time we had together and the time we spent and how we spent it. And then I think we went in our next class and laid it down because he gave me the permission to make mistakes. Circling back to his retirement, he said that having been able to relieve the pressure for both of us, the responsibility of the pressure of competition opened new doors for us to just stop, to just sit, to be still, to listen, to try new things, to discover what lights each other up. He said everything she knows about connection is my doing. He's taking full credit for it because he said, I'm sorry, he's so funny. He said, I'm highly unmotivated. And he said, I made her work to figure out what motivated me. And you know what it was? It wasn't food, it was scritches. I would do anything for Jana to stop and just get all my itches. Anything. Even step in the water obstacle that I don't like. He says, this is what I have on my heart and on my mind at this time. He would strongly suggest, especially to people who have a horse for the long haul, to keep small notes for yourself so that you can fill your joy cup as you go, because you never want to forget all the special moments you have with your people, and your people will never want to forget all the special moments they have with their horses. He said, especially when we get older. He said it's really important to let your horses know that you put them first, but actually tell them. Don't assume that we just know because we're with you. Let us know that you put us first. He said, we'll give you our whole hearts and our whole worlds. That's all you need to do. Just tell us that you're putting us first. He said, Bestie, you have questions. I can tell you're fidgeting.
I'm just excited. I love the idea first of thinking of golden years and that there's still beautiful moments to connect and remember. I was envisioning like getting a really beautiful jar and just having little pieces of paper to like write down those moments and put them in a jar so you can start filling it up. And then whenever you're maybe at the end of a year or 6 months, you pull them out and remind each other of them. I think that would be really fun to physically do that. So that was a really cool suggestion. I'd love to know more about his take on connection and how he would suggest humans connect better with their horses.
He said, you've got to start with listening. And you have to take your listening to the next level. And when I say next level, I don't mean just auditory listening. I mean deep in your body, in your heart, in your mind, in your soul, all of them compounding into one, and you've got to listen. He said the challenge is giving yourself enough of a pause to hear. Listening comes through feel, listening comes through observation, listening comes through using your ears. He said, I'll give you an exercise. feel into your heart. If you're not familiar with that terminology or feeling, imagine that you are in the center of your chest, and then go deeper, and then go deeper still. Then let your mind drop into your body. Imagine your brain and your mind is just like a cork bobbing in the ocean. And then suddenly it gets full of water like a sponge and just starts to float down and float down into your heart. Then bring your attention to your ears. Many of you may be familiar with the ringing or toning sound that happens in our ears from time to time. Imagine that. Imagine that you're hearing that tone right now. Let that tone drop in with your mind and your heart. He said, I will ask you all now, what do you hear now? He said, this is how a telephone works. This is how headphones work. This is how speakers work. When we use those devices, we not only need to listen, just like you're listening to this program now, we need to listen, take it in, process so that we can turn it around and speak back. Connection is give and take. It's like a teeter-totter when you're matched with the perfect person. It's very easy, but it's also give and take. It cannot move without give and take. I was asking him if he had anything else about connection. He said no. The
That's
thing to
pretty
know
clear.
about Chip is he will share when he feels it's specifically relevant, and when it's not, he won't talk to you. He's an interesting individual because a number of my friends talk to animals too, and I'll just ask them to check in with him if there's something I just need some confirmation on, and he'll be really, really friendly until they press for deeper details, and then he'll say, only Jana.
He's clear.
So
Yeah.
he's very, he won't let anyone else do energy work on him either, except for this one person, and that is because I'm involved in every session. He's very, very particular about things. And he says it's because the interaction is specific to the people. It's specific to who he's working with. He has known more people than most humans meet in their lifetimes. He was a teaching horse at the University of Nebraska, which is number one, why he's so educated. Number two, knows people so well. He has taught many people. But he also says that the reason he says no is because the information they're looking for on my behalf is for me. And it's another way he holds me to his standards so that I take the time that it takes to spend with him so that he can share with me what's relevant for myself. So he said it would be like your friend getting a tarot reading on your behalf.
Oh, yeah, that's weird. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
really love that teeter-totter analogy. That was beautiful.
Yeah. He says it's a perfect balance in motion. And if you think about how a horse is a longitudinal animal, it needs to kind of move that way, or is designed to kind of move that way. You know, think about that rocking motion of the canter. People say rocking horse, but he says a teeter-totter is the same thing.
Yeah. Okay, so another question just came to mind. Totally fine if he doesn't want to answer. However, I think it could be really useful for other people, especially in these situations. We know that Aurora has passed on recently, and Kenny is his new herd mate. Does he have any thoughts or feelings or suggestions or advice about those kind of transitions for people and horses.
He said, do you mean grieving or
All of
transition
it.
of
Yeah.
oh, all of it.
Yeah, all of it. The grieving and then the getting used to new herd mate, things like that. Yeah.
He says, well, Jana stuck up for me a lot. He goes, I love Kenny. I love him, but sometimes he's a little rude. And he said Jana went to bat and reminds Kenny to take care of me every day. So he said, I really appreciate that. He said, here's the thing about Aurora. He said she and I were best friends. I'm sorry, I miss her so much.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
Oh gosh, she's been around a lot lately too, but hasn't said a whole lot. And she actually gave someone a message for me yesterday, said that she is not speaking because she's my protector. And so I just needed to feel into her presence. He said she was his best friend. He said Jana and I really struggled through her passing, even though we knew and she prepared us. He said I wasn't afraid the day she moved on because I understood. We spent the whole weekend together, all of us, Jana, Aurora, and I, and all of our friends. And he said I wasn't scared when she passed because I knew right where she was. He said we're still connected, we're still familiar, but it was really hard. He said, so give yourself the space and the time that it takes. Let yourself be sad. Comfort your human. He said, even though I was sad, I tried to just keep smiling and cheer Jana on. And he said, in a really interesting way, it opened a lot of doors for Jana and I to really start to jump into that golden years space together and start to try new things. And did you know that grief is a depth of love that pulls you so deep that the tears come because of the intensity of the depth of the love? So let yourself be in it. Let yourself drop in it. Let yourself float in it. Don't be afraid of it, because when you let yourself drop into the sadness, into the grief, you actually rise back out more loved than you could have ever imagined. And he said it brought us closer together, and we found that we had even more in common than we realized, even after many years of being together. He said, and then he said, what we did, the reason we have Kenny is because we asked Aurora to find us the horse that would fit for both Jana and myself. This wasn't just about Jana having another horse that she could bring along and start to ride, because I need to retire and just be fun, a fun ride, not a competitive ride. He said we asked her to send the horse that would both be supportive for her and for me. He said, I think that that is really important. You need to remember that while you're looking for a horse for a specific job or role in your life, you need to also ask that it be the horse that fits in with the rest of your family and the rest of your lifestyle. You need to put that on your list when you're looking for and getting another horse. One that will fit into the family. Chip, he's so sweet. He agrees with me. His relationship with Kenny is different than with Aurora, because he and Aurora used to just snuggle. It was so precious. But Kenny, being younger, has brought new life force to Chip, new motivation. He's realized that because he's older and has the experience that he's able to help me show Kenny new things and learn about new things, and he loves it. I couldn't get Kenny to go through the pool noodle hoop with the pool noodles hanging down. No matter how I worked with him, he didn't want to go with me, Jana. So one day I got on Chip and I ponied Kenny, and because Chip bravely went through that pool noodle hoop, Kenny said, "Oh, I can do it too." And from there, every time I have presented something new and unfamiliar to Kenny that he's unsure of, I go over and I ask Chip to help me show Kenny what it's like. And all of a sudden, Kenny is not afraid because Chip did it first. So Chip really likes being someone that a younger horse can look up to. He said it's given him new zest and purpose in life. And again, he wants to come back around and say retired doesn't mean useless. It just means you have to think of a different purpose and a different means of being useful. He's so proud of how Kenny's turning out, and he's taking credit for it, and I'm going to let him. He said there's not a day that goes by that he doesn't think about and miss Aurora because she was really special. She gave, Chip says she gave him a second mother because his mother wasn't really a natural mother. We could go into that another day. He said, don't talk about her.
Okay.
But not only did he have a best friend in her, he had another mother. So he got to heal parts of himself that he wouldn't have thanks to her. And he says he thinks it's easier for him than for Jana because he can see her and feel her, and he's still connected with her in a way that horses remain connected to one another. And while Jana, I still feel her too. It's not, it's hard to describe, but what he's bringing through is that she's never left. But for me, there feels like more separation, and it's probably just because it's coming through my human filter. He said that you don't, he told me I don't see her whispering in Kenny's ear and telling him things and teaching him things. And I believe it because I have seen Kenny do some gestures that she used to do that no one else could have told him. Chip said, "Did I answer your question? Because I am aware that I go in my own directions."
Yes. I think that was beautiful. And I think just what people need. So I really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
So I'd love to know what are some things that he absolutely loves doing now, maybe that he hasn't shared with you yet, Jenna.
He said one of the things he loves doing with me now was actually really recent. It was just this past week. I have been slowly doing liberty with both of my horses, like together at the same time, which doesn't always go real well because boys. But what we're doing is one horse will stand and the other horse and I will walk a circle around the standing horse. Kenny has figured it out very quickly because he listens to all my thoughts and does what I ask him to because that's who he is, right? Chip is a little bit the type that tries to anticipate or overachieve. So he doesn't always listen for all the instructions before we do something. And we had this moment last week where I was working hard to be really clear with Chip. I said, I need you to just be patient and just stand there while Kenny and I walk around you. And he was like, okay. And then he got excited and turned a whole circle with us. It's fine. You know, it's his style. It's fine. Well, Kenny got aggravated and said to me, why can't he listen? And I said, Kenny, because Chip is different from you. You guys are just different. And I said, we're going to have to be patient because this is his nature. And then I looked at Chip and he had this puzzled look on his face, like, it never occurred to me that that was a problem. This is just how I've always done it. And then, by golly, we went to do the circles again, and Chip just had this like focused concentration expression on his face, and he stood there and he stood very still. And Kenny and I walked our circle around Chip, and he didn't move. And I was like, I'm so proud of you right now. And he was like, darn right, give the food. But I think what he's sharing about that is what he likes most is that he's realizing he has had to be the teacher for so long that he took a moment to pause and be the student, and he really liked it because this horse knows so much that everything I've done up until then has not been something new for him to learn because he knows so much, but that was new. And that was, he set a really cool challenge, and it made him think and it made him use his mind instead of his smart, his book smarts or his training smarts. And he said that he could feel his body and his physicality in a way that he hadn't felt it before. And he said, I feel excited to my core instead of just mentally excited like I normally am. He's so intelligent, but he said it's the first time he let himself really stop and think about what we were doing instead of trying to be overeager and try too hard. And he said it was just profound for me.
So he still wants to
Profound.
learn new things.
Yeah, it's not easy because he knows so much. But that was brand new for him. He hadn't told me that. I just remember I was bummed because my video had shut off. Didn't get it on video. So
Oh,
that lives in my memory now.
so write that down and put it in your jar.
I'm going to. I was so proud of him that he hadn't shared with me yet how much that meant to him. It also made me realize that Chip and I are both Aries, so our minds work very, very quickly. But it also brought my attention to the fact that Chip and I have our own communication style, and I don't tend to use a lot of telepathy with him. And I really kind of pushed it that day. It felt like a push to me to use telepathy. And all of a sudden, it was like Chip went, oh, because he's so trainable, he's so teachable and he's so smart that he can pretty much pull on any of his education and figure out what you want, even if he doesn't really know what you want. He can fill in the gaps. He's really good at it. So what a cool thing to learn about my horse today. He
That
just
was awesome,
he needs to be reminded to pause too.
right? It's good for all beings. Is there anything else you want to ask him?
There is one health challenge that we're navigating right now, and I just thought, well, let me see if I'm missing anything. Well, I have a captive audience, and he said, all will be all right. This is a practice for you to trust the process, even when it looks bad. I'm not going to elaborate because
That's fine. Yeah, but that's really good to know. Is there anything else he wants to share that he thinks us humans need to know?
never write yourself off. It's really easy to write yourself off when you're trying too hard. And he said, take it from me, I try too hard all the time. Never write yourself off. Choose your friends wisely. Even horses who are purchased and moved around and constantly having to make new friends, you can still choose your friends wisely. Choose your friends wisely. Your friends are ultimately the ones that are going to bring out the best in you and show you you and help you get where you're going. So when you're trying really hard, just remember that sometimes you just need a friend to reflect you back to you so you can see where you are. And he said for a long time, Jana and I were like one being. We just coexisted and kind of just knew what the other knew. And we just knew. And he said, but now we don't stare at each other's reflections anymore. We really see each other. And it took some time, but it takes the time it takes. So let it have the time it takes and pay attention to who your friends are. He said, if you gain nothing else, pay attention to who your friends are. He said, and lastly, he's known a lot of people and he's had many homes, but he never stopped waiting for his person. He never stopped looking. And he said, if you have something that you really want in your life, don't stop asking for it because eventually it'll show up. And he said, Jana wasn't the only one who was stopped in their tracks. He said, I saw her too, and I knew that's who I'd been waiting for.
Oh, I just got full body chills. That's so sweet.
I'm going to go cry. I was a little bit scared to do this today, and I'm going to be honest and tell you why, because I felt like I'm understanding now that our connection, it's shifting and changing and growing again. So it's felt like a little bit of a disconnect. So sometimes keep in mind when we're leveling up and we're growing, you might feel a disconnection, but it's actually just a stretch. And so you got to give yourself the space and the time to acclimate to it and recognize it and let it be different because we don't have to try so hard. We just have to keep showing up and be willing to stretch and let it be different and get used to it again. And I've been honestly a little bit afraid that I'm not giving him enough attention because of the capacity I have been working with Kenny. And it's just reminding me that it's different and that's okay. So thank you everyone for listening to this and for this time with Chip because this like really means the world to me right now to feel him more fully back in my heart space where I wasn't feeling him for a while.
I'm so glad we did this. Thank you, Chip, and thank you, Jana. That's gorgeous.
That explains why I was a little bit apprehensive when we started.
Sure. And it's a really good point to remember that every animal we connect with will feel different. And then it's also important to realize that our connections will evolve and change and recalibrate. And it's not always going to feel the same and not to panic when it doesn't, right?
Hey, right. I hear people say a lot in sessions, I want to get back to fill in the blank. And I hear get back. And I can understand because it was a time that was really lovely and maybe easy and really connected. And we have to remember that going back holds us back. So, what if we bring the memory of what was back there forward and step into that forward together and be willing to explore the new, which is what all of you just made me do sitting here listening to this. This is the healing that comes through conversation. And something my animals have been bringing through the last couple months is how important the conversations are to our healing, to our well-being, to our growth. Have the conversations, listen, see where they take you.
Keep asking good quality questions too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Love it. Anything else, or does that feel good?
I'm just looking forward to seeing him later and giving him the biggest hug. And I have my supplies ready to go to help with his situation, his health concern. So I have those supplies ready to go. And I feel really good about my plan for his treatment today.
Brilliant. Well, please do give him extra scratches from me and all our listeners.
I will. Yeah, he loves his scritches. He'll do just about anything for a good butt scratch.
Well, it's funny you say that because I have this thing now with Pepper. If I'm not riding him or doing anything specific, I still go out there and hang out with him. And he demands scratches, and he'll show me exactly where he needs it. He'll even lift up a leg and point to it with his mouth, like, this is the spot. Like, okay, got it. And I get it. And then if I stop too soon, he'll turn around and like push me back in the same position. It's like a little bit pushy, but it's not dangerous. And it just kind of makes me giggle. I'm like, okay, got it. I need to keep going.
Here, let me help you get where I need you.
Yeah, he's just super clear. And then when I'm done, I send him love. I thank him for showing me, I try to give Indy love as well. And then I go back towards the gate to leave. And sometimes he'll just chase me. Oh, wait, I need a little bit more, please. Like, okay, one more, pony, and then I gotta go. But they're always of the mind, like, why aren't you living out here 24/7 with me and scratching me every second? Like that.
All right. My horses, every time I say, okay, I have to go home because I need to work, they're like, can you stay? Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. They're like, all right, fine. Uh, my last tidbit is to remember the value of the scritches, because the value of just currying your horse a little bit longer, if that's all you have time for, that's going to go such a long way in your connection because you just took that time to get their itches. I haven't ridden Kenny all week for various reasons, but I curried him several times and he just was so happy. So happy.
Yeah, it really makes a difference. So go out there and find your pony scratches, itchy spots, people. Make them happy. Make the lip go if you can. Yeah, that would be awesome. All your horses will
Yeah.
be way happier.
Make sure your curry time is extensive.
Yeah, yeah. They're. I know I'm not a sponsor for them, but the curry on a stick is really wonderful. So,
Oh, maybe we should contact them.
yeah, that one's great.
Yeah, don't skip this curry brush. If you don't have
Yeah,
time for a full grooming, use that one. Don't skip it.
yeah. And then dirty fingernails go a long way too.
That
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, the farmer's manicure.
I love it. All right, you guys. Well, thank you again, Jana.
Welcome. Next week, who are we talking to? Who's coming in for you?
I feel like it's Pepper. I think you
I
guys.
thought the same thing.
Yeah. I
All
think
right.
Pepperoni Pony is coming next, you guys. All
Yeah,
right.
better. He said you better be wearing your seatbelts because he's going to take us for a ride.
The best
Okay.
kind. The best kind. All right, you guys. I'm sending you all love, and please do write a review if you have time and are inspired on whichever platform you're listening to. If you want to jump into our Inspired Riders group on Facebook, please do. And you can post anytime, ask questions. If you want your questions to be added to our list in the podcast, that would be awesome. And remember to lead with kindness for yourself and for your horse. And may the horse be with you always.